We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Okay, we had another Zoom call last night with retired generals, colonels, and also Lin Wood. Here's what they covered. Don't be alarmed, this one is pretty heavy but ends well. Everyone is upset and impatient that no trigger has been pulled yet. But make no mistake, the president will do what is necessary to defend the Constitution. Much is being done out of public view. 25,000 troops are now in D.C., under the guise of riot control for the inauguration. More troops across the country, all major Democrat cities, are on standby, which is one HR recall. POTUS just designated Cuba as a terrorist state, relating to election interference. POTUS just delisted a number of Chinese companies from having business being done with them. The recent blackouts in Italy, Vatican, Pakistan and Iran were from our Space Force. They temporarily took out parts of their power grid from up there. This was in preparation for war with China and Iran. Don't panic. This isn't conventional war with tanks and bombs and bullets, it's cyber warfare, including satellites that can knock out communications and data centers. If you ever wondered why the Space Force was instituted by POTUS a while back, it wasn't just about going to Mars. It was for this. Other countries have satellites up there that can do stuff to us. We have them now too, and they work. There are now 250,000 Chinese troops surrounding us, 75,000 in Canada and the rest in Mexico. The generals said if they set foot in this country they will be wiped out swiftly as they are ready. I know, this is scary, but hang on, everything will be fine. POTUS at the wall in Texas yesterday was a signal to let China know he means business, as a sign, and that he is in charge. POTUS will be getting in front of the people to produce evidence so the people know he is the real elected president. He may have to use the emergency alert system to do this in 2 to 3 days. When I give you a timeline or dates, they can be disinformation given to us on purpose, so we will not be told the real dates as our calls are being listened into. The mayor of Oklahoma City was informed by POTUS on Monday via email that the Insurrection Act has been enacted and arrests will begin in that city. This is the first of many cities this will happen in. So we now have confirmation that the Insurrection Act is in place. Don't believe the media. It's all optics. One colonel noted that in war, it's important to draw your enemy out in the open. POTUS has been doing exactly that. Look at all the rats that have been revealing their true identity. POTUS has been separating the wheat from the chaff, especially these past 2 weeks. This election was cyber warfare on our country. A paper was sent to the White House on the voting in 4 states that showed Chinese cyber attacks moving votes from Trump to Biden. They have proof of this now. This is a foreign country involved in our elections, so this has been escalated from a domestic issue to an attack from a foreign enemy. This has moved from a constitutional voting issue to a national security issue now. COVID was a biological attack on our country to shut down our economy and push the mail-in ballots nationwide in order to pull off the steal along with the Dominion machines. The virus was a man-made bioweapon created in a Wuhan lab to take out as many of our elderly and the weak as possible to incite more fear globally. They needed the death counts to rise to continue their plan to take over our country. This is why every death was marked as a COVID-19 death regardless if they had it or not. The generals and Jen Flynn encouraged us all as patriots to resist all across this country, and yes, Canada too. Take off your mask. Go to church and open your businesses. They can't stop us when we all resist. There aren't enough jail cells to hold everyone. Those were our orders to get the message out to the masses. There is no mandate in our Constitution law to keep people from seeing each other or close their business. The Capitol building attack was Antifa and BLM driven, all tactical deception as they call it in the military. It's common practice. Okay. No one is getting nuked and you don't need to take this at its worst. But you need to be prepared. There could be blackouts, internet down, cell phones down for short periods. Make sure you have ways to keep your food cold, etc. if the power goes out, and don't panic. Democrat-controlled and big cities may be hit the worst because BLM and Antifa will riot and loot. Biden isn't seated. That's why the military is on standby. I know the number of Chinese troops around us is a scary thing, but they are only coming in if Biden was seated. Then they would start the move on changing our country. It's not a pretty thought. But that's not happening. I know the Joint Chiefs put out a letter they are supporting the new President Biden on the 20th. What else are they supposed to say right now? It's all optics to keep things calm. Remember, if POTUS doesn't stop this, he will be hunted down and arrested along with his entire family by the left. That's a fact. And with him gone, our country is gone too. He knows this. He's not going to sit there and do nothing. From now to the 19th is showtime, we just don't know exactly when. So yes, we are in a full-blown military operation right now to remove the threats and install our president back in power and control the violence in the big cities. Keep in mind, if the lights go out, and Biden is not president, it's not China coming in here, it's us knocking out the lights to weed out the bad guys. Massive arrests will be happening then. On a side note, the Space Force has actually been around a long time. POTUS is the one that disclosed it to all of us. It used to be called the Secret Space Program. Remember when Rumsfeld announced $2 trillion had gone missing and they don't know where it went? He announced that the day before September 11th. The next day, a plane struck the Pentagon in the exact place where those files were kept. The money went to build the secret space program. POTUS is using it to protect us. Everything we are hearing and seeing in the news is all optics, and the corruptors are in full panic in DC. This war is all about implementing the new republic in order to introduce to the world a new currency that is gold asset-backed and run on the new quantum financial system, which replaces the central banks and SWIFT. 209 countries have signed on. Yes, no, Google says there are 196 countries, but the Union recognizes 251. SOS Mike Pompeo did the satellite tests Monday via Voice of America to all 209 countries with over 40 languages translating in real time. This has never been done before. This was a test to see how many network channels would cover it, and there wasn't one. They did it again the next day, and they know that they can circumvent big tech to communicate with the USA and Canada, first priority, and the rest of the world using the new EAS, Emergency Alert System. Everything they are panicked about is the world finding out about their pedophilia and child sex trafficking rings they have all profited from for decades. The president loves this country and loves the people and is committed to financially restore all that has been lost since COVID-19 started. Today we have seen executive orders for GA, PA, CT, UT, and LA declaring them a state of emergency for disaster. This is for the military to move into place, which will be completed by tonight. The president is very patient and still holds all of the trump cards, and they know it. He has cornered them all like rats in a corner. Also keep in mind, this is all unprecedented. We are in a war already, people being taken off Facebook, Twitter and Instagram and / or having 1,000s of followers taken away if you have supported this president or speak out against the lockdowns or vaccines. Even the president himself was silenced. This is communism and it's already here. This isn't America. That's why POTUS will fight. Be patient. What we need to do is share this to get the message out, to trust the plan. As Lin Wood said, all lies will be revealed. The outcome will be glorious. We may begin to see things as early as tonight, and we are hearing that it will become hot around the 18th to 19th. Stay in prayer. Stay in faith. This is for our freedom and we will win.